Good afternoon, all. We really welcome all of you, very heartily welcome all of you. Maybe Jigisha, you can take over.
Yes, sir. Thank you. A warm welcome to everyone. I'm Jigisha Mistry, Marketing Manager, Paints and Coating Skill Council, your host for an hour now. I hope every one of you are doing great. It is my pleasure to introduce to you our panelist for the webinar. We have with us Mr. Paritosh Pathak. He did his master's in business management from the prestigious Institute of Enterprise Hyderabad and holds a postgraduate diploma in sustainable rural development from National Institute of Rural Development in Panchayati Raj. During his initial professional years, he was associated with the Raheja Group, Shopper Stops Hypercity, and the Aditya Birla Group. Post that, he has been engaged in the development sector. He successfully led state-level projects in water and sanitation, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, across states like West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, Maharashtra, UP, and Karnataka. Presently, he is heading the MGNF management team at the Center for Public Policy, IIM Bangalore. We welcome you, Paritosh, sir. We have with us Mr. Jagdish Acharya. After completing education at Mumbai University and IIM Calcutta, he joined Asian Paints, where he spent 35 years in various roles. The last as CEO of PPG Asian Paints, a JV of Asian Paints with PPG Industries, serving automotive, industrial, and marine customers. Later, till March 2016, he was associated with Asian Paints as their advisor CSR. He was also the CEO of Jade Head Managers and Associates, a consulting firm based in Mumbai, which provides consultancy in area of strategic management, organization development, and CSR. He is now the CEO of Paints and Coating Skill Council, past president of India Business Forum of CII in China, and post co-chairman of the Indo-Korean Business Council of FICCI. He has been keenly participated in industry affairs all through his career. He is also on the governing council of two educational institutes and is associated with the Mumbai chapter of Social Venture Partners, which is a philanthropic organization. He is a Glaxo Gold medalist from IIM Kolkata and Udyog Ratna awardee. We welcome you, Jagdish sir. The flow of the discussion of the webinar is like first the brief from Paints and Coating Skill Council. While there are challenges in the skilling ecosystem, how we can unlock the bottlenecks together will be the next discussion. This will be followed by our Q&A session. After Q&A, I will be sharing a link for feedback and I request everyone to please fill the same with your Gmail login. It will be in two languages, English and Hindi. So you can fill in the details with your comfortable language. I would like to now invite Jagdish sir to start the proceedings.
Thank you, Jigisha. First of all, my hearty welcome to all of you who have joined us today. It's really a pleasure to see all of you here. My welcome, I heartily welcome all the MGNF fellows and my fellow panelists, Mr. Paritosh. We have on the attendees list Mr. Parthasarthi Chandar also, the CSR head of AXO. Hello, Parthasarthi, and I'll see how I can put you on the panel because I'm just having some technical issues. But really happy to see you and all of you there, friends from all over the state. I'll just start off with our presentation on PCS. I want to talk to you a little bit about the paint industry. First of all, a warm welcome once again to all of you. It's indeed a pleasure to be with young people who have very noble aspirations to serve the community and the nation. Let me talk to you a little bit about the paint industry. The estimated size of the paint industry is about 60,000 crores. And, incidentally, the paint industry is very interesting. You have large manufacturers, about 4 or 5 of them. And there are relatively small number of small and medium manufacturers. But there is a plethora of small and micro, large and medium, about 175, small and micro over 3,000. So really, if you see, it's like a pyramid, there's a large players at the lower rung of the market structure. We believe the current workforce in the industry is about 32 lakhs, and of which a large chunk of them, about 20 to 25 lakhs, are applicators, that's the painters. Paint production is done by the manufacturers, but it's the application of the paint that makes paint whatever it is. Within this system, there is a decorative segment of almost 75%, which is what you see, the houses, the households, and the architectural buildings, and about 25% is industrial. When I say industrial, it means the infrastructure like the bridges and the fertilizer plants, the power plants, so on and so forth. The decorative segments, actually, new construction is about only 30%, but maintenance, that is when you start repainting your existing decorative structures, is almost 75%. So the growth drivers are very, very aspirational here. You have the GDP of the country, as you know, is one of the best, and in the world. The real estate is growing. There is an aspirational group of people who are actually coming into the industry. India is a very interesting country. You have a large number of people who are still poor, and there are tremendous problems, the humongous problems in the country. But there's a lot of positive side about the demographic structure being there, the demographic dividend being there, and a lot of good work that is happening in the area of skilling, and a lot of infrastructural projects that will come up. And also the housing initiative conducted by the government. So the key drivers are very, very promising. And I think we should look at that half-filled glass rather than the half-empty one, and see how we can fill it up to the brim. What are our objectives? Our objective is to continuously identify and upgrade skills needed in the paints and coating sector. Develop the national occupational standards for all these skills. Develop the course material and training resources needed for quality training, both online and offline. Participate in setting up of affiliation, accreditation, examination and certification norms for the paints and coating sectors. We also want to encourage and promote the setting up of the required training institutions and academies. We want to plan and execute training of trainers and assessors programs in compliance with NCVT and NSTC guidelines. We also conduct skill-based assessment and certification for the various QP and NOSIS aligned trade programs. As such, we are a council which mainly facilitates training and then also does assessment and certification. More importantly, we also conduct a skill gap study, work with the industry to fill those skill gaps through preparation of proper curriculum, and then ensuring that the people who are trained are properly assessed and then certified. In our country, because of the informal nature of the paint fraternity being largely from the informal sector, there is a need to recognize prior learning, prior skills, so that people who are in the informal sector have a chance to upgrade themselves to the formal sector. It is very much required, because livelihoods can only increase if you are in a position to show productivity improvement, if you are in a position to enhance the quality of skills that you deliver. We have about 18 QPs or job roles. Now I want all the MGNF fellows to understand this, that it is not limited only to the painter application. In application itself, there are almost 10 job roles. The decorative painter, the powder coater, where you see the equipments like fridges and fans, etc. They are powder coated. Then you also see colors being developed in the shops of the dealers. They are done through shop tinting assistant, which is the job role we have created. Then when you look at high infrastructure projects, there is the protective, and with the ships and all, there is the marine painting. General industrial painting is for all things that are in the industrial area. Then the furnitures require wood polishing and painting. Then of course the decorative painters, job roles are also there. So when you say painter, applicator, it not only means the decorative architectural, but it has got a wider application of automotive, industrial, marine, and protective coatings. In manufacturing in the paint industry, production QC in charge, liquid paint processing operator. In powder coating, there is something known as a tumbling operator, filling and packing operator, QC chemist, quality chemist, so on and so forth. There is also the role of a technical sales representative, which is required in the paint industry because of the nature of the paint that we. There is a compelling case for upskilling. You know, we all know the pain, the painting, the pain in the painting. We all say no painting karna hai, usko dur rakho. Abhi nahi karenge, postpone it. Why? Because painting is becoming a nuisance. Now we want to remove that by ensuring that the painters are given proper tools and they are able to use proper machines and equipment to do their paint professionally, least amount of inconvenience and dust to the customers. That means skill enhancement through new technology, environmental awareness, soft skills, productivity improvement, and improved earnings and for the low economic strata. So there is a compelling case for upskilling. The moment you upskill, livelihoods improve, productivity improves means livelihoods improve. If livelihoods improves, then there is a change in their own lives. And this is what is required. We also have an apprenticeship promotion scheme, which is very good. You know, believe me when I say that the country is headed for a great apprenticeship program in the years to come. The apprentice actually gets proper training on the job, and then he's certified, and more often than not is absorbed in the industry. So it is really an excellent way of getting jobs, you know, placing oneself. Apprentice करके ले लीजिए, करिए आप काम, on the job training, do it in a structured way, then you get absorbed, and then you become. Many people have become, loyal to the company where they have had apprenticeship programs, especially in Germany. It is one of the most popular programs, and we want to do that in India too. What are the employment potentials? Then the potential employers are the painting contractors, builders, automobile manufacturers, and appliance manufacturers. Then there are painters in the repainting segment who are self-employed and freelancers. In the construction sector, builders entrust painting to painting contractors. And then there are construction and repainting segments, which are growth segments, and there is a demand for skilled painters. This is the certificate that we give. And this, as you can see, it has the NCVT emblem and the National Skill Development PMKY branding. We can co-brand it with the contractor. And this is a great passage for better work and livelihood. I'll just show you some of the photographs here. I know this is not the best way to show it, but at this point in time, that's the best thing I can do. Let me try if I can show it in a better way. No. So these are some of the photographs of the program that we have done so far. This is in Agra and Delhi. We have trained some even women for painting. This is the Building and Woodworkers International for the assistant decorative painting job. This is in Jharkhand where we have done painters and wood polishers training program. In Tamil Nadu, we trained 266 marine painters, and all of them have gone abroad for jobs. This is one of our most prestigious programs. Again, we have done painting training for 300 painters in Tamil Nadu. We had done last year about 20,000. This year we started with 300, and I'm sure the numbers will grow up. As is with the UP Skill Development Mission, we have been working. Then there is a new training center launched at Vikramgarh in Maharashtra. The very interesting part of this is that we are using simulators. You know, these are the simulators that you see on the screen, where children learn how to spray, and they are able to use that knowledge when actual spray comes onto the automotive panels or the infrastructural metals. So this helps save paint and also improves the accuracy of spraying, knowledge of spraying. Challenges you must be facing is there is a mission and then you are representing the district skills. There are skilling firms, there is the council, there is the industry. The challenge is how do we meet, all of us meet together to ensure that we produce a common, achieve a common objective. It's all evolving and I can assure you that we will do our best to make it work. We have now decided that we'll engage with schools and education institutes to align diploma, curriculum and short courses. We are also advocating safety guidelines at painting work sites and work areas. And we are targeting a comprehensive painters program pan-India. We want to participate in various government-led initiatives. Most of all, we want to make painting aspirational. What I want to say, ladies and gentlemen on the call, young people who have a commitment to community and society, the future is bright and let's walk the journey together.
Thank you, Jagdish sir, for the brief. I would like to now invite Paritosh sir to present how we can deal with the challenges in the skilling ecosystem. Welcoming you, sir, Paritosh sir, for your
presentation. And thank you.
I think there were some internet issues. So we really once again welcome all the people who have just joined in. I really appreciate your taking the time and coming and meeting us. We have also on the panel Ms. Shimona Talwar. She's our manager affiliation and welcome her also. And
thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. A very good evening.
I think Mr. Paritosh just will join again. There's some issue with his line. But so the point we were making is there's so much of work to be done. And I think it's important that we all come together, understand that all the MGMN fellows, I want to assure you all that we at the council are here to, you can feel free to talk to us. We are here to help and support your activities, share with you what job prospects are there for people who are trained, who can be trained. And we are quite confident that, we will be able to get the best out of this situation, because paint and coatings is relatively a new thing, as far as job is concerned in the district level. And I think it's it can become aspirational if they get proper training. Shimon, would you want to add anything before Mr.
Yes, sir. I'd also like to take this opportunity to inform and address you that most of the MGNA fellows have been in touch with us, either Raman, me or Jigisha, to help us on the ground. And in their various ways, they've helped us with information. And recently on my visit to Gujarat, I did align with Paritosh and Gaurav, Saloni and Hiral. So these are the people who are there in Gujarat, and they really helped make my trip very productive. They have a very good insight about the skill ecosystem now because they are there at the ground level. And I think we should continue to take the support if we need to be in the right direction. So
yeah,
I would say that, sir.
Sure.
And we obviously make a very good team together, the SSCs and the MGNF fellows, because they know exactly who we should meet, what activities happening on the ground, and then they align us accordingly with those activities.
So I'll just wait. You can tell Mr. Paritosh, I have this thing on the screen. Maybe
Yeah.
he just,
Yes, I can see him join back.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Actually,
Mr. Paritosh, how does this look? Should I do it for you because it's easier now? Are you comfortable with this?
Guru, mute kar do na.
Mr. Paritosh, I have shared your presentation. Is that okay for you to?
Yeah, absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. I think now it's working.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm very deeply sorry. Actually, I was facing some network glitch. So
No problem, sir.
yeah, sorry for this thing. So as Mr. Jagdish shared, like the overall objectives and how the PSSC is functioning, what kinds of initiative they are taking on the ground. So to develop the skills and provide employment opportunities to like candidates. So in that direction only we are moving ahead, and we will be sharing some of the challenges which we have identified during our journey of MGNF, and we also will share some of the feasible solutions through which we can overcome these challenges and move ahead. So and then since it's like teamwork and such a large thing, so all the stakeholders have to come together and participate in this journey, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so coming on to my first slide. So this will be the structure of the presentation. These topics we will be covering. So I'll be just quickly going through the skilling ecosystem, and then we'll understand what the DSC is all about. Then what bottlenecks had we identified. Then what can be the solutions for meeting those challenges and way forward. So how to take this these challenges, just solve these challenges and then move ahead. Yeah. So the present skilling system somewhat look like this in India. So we have a central government somewhere, and then state governments and department specifics. So this is like central, state, then we have district level. So at the central level, we have some schemes like PMKVY, DDU, JKY, RCT, and I think most of you must be knowing all these. And then state government, through certain schemes, they attract funding and they convert the funding into the skill initiatives. So like SSDF is the State Skill Development Fund. Then you have a border area development program is there. Then multi-sectoral programs are there. Then there is a scheme for building and other construction workers. Then a special central assistance for scheduled caste and all. So through these schemes, state governments fund the skilling initiatives. And at district level, departments like DRDA, that is District Rural Development Agency, KVIC and all, they implement these schemes, and their objectives to implement these schemes and skill up the people, right? Yeah, next. So now coming on to the district, because district is the basic unit where all these schemes are being implemented, right? Where we get the beneficiaries, we identify the candidates, the training goes on, the employment goes on. So that is a district, the unit of a district where all these activities take place. So Government of India then realized this importance, and then this district skill committee has been formed across all the districts of India. So the purpose is to strengthen the skilling ecosystem, to enhance the skills of the workforce and create better livelihoods and employment opportunities at district level for the people, right? So the agenda is like to decentralize this whole ecosystem of the skilling things, and at the decentral level, at the remotest village also, that their candidates can be also mobilized, so that the process can be inclusive as well. So the members are like, it's headed by the district magistrate or the district collector, as you call in different states, and then officers across major other departments like agriculture, horticulture, then animal husbandry is there, MSME departments are there, short, and this like other departments all constitute this whole DSC. And the main function is to plan, implement, and fund, and further monitor the progress along these skill initiatives under these schemes. So this is the overall this thing about the DSC. Now, through our fellows, I have been also traveling to across many states and many districts in the country. So these are the few major challenges which we have identified, and we think if we can address these challenges, so the journey can be more smooth, and focus can be more upon the improving the quality and improving the numbers. Because as of now, those funds are being utilized, many activities are being implemented on the ground, but the desired results, somewhere we are unable to achieve those results, the targets, right? Because if you talk, for example, we take the enrollment ratio and compare it with the placement ratio. So there is a huge gap. So initially, suppose 100 students or candidates enroll in a particular course or job role. Then if we find out like how many were placed or how many retained or how many are still working after 6 months of passing out, so not even 10% is the ratio on an average. So that's a huge loss of resources, because a lot of funding is required to train one candidate for 3 months, if we call it. So on an average, government of India is spending around 15 to 20,000 per candidate to be trained in any of these courses. And if that amount is not realized through good placement or retained, the candidate is retained by the companies, so then it makes no sense, right? So, so these challenges we have categorized into three broad areas. That is concern related to TPs. So TPs is training partners. So these training partners are like associated by the state skill mission, or they are directly connected with associated with the government of India through PMKVI or something. So these training partners, they get some target on some job roles which they normally apply, and they get some numbers or some target on to train that number of candidates. So so trade specialization has to be very precise, right? And it should be as per the requirement, as per the demand, and not as per the will of the TP. So normally what TP thinks, if this is easy, so this training will just give it, whether or not the demand of such role is there or not. Okay, so this has to be matched very precisely, and that needs quite a lot of research, baseline research, like what kind of interest people have, what kind of demand is coming in near future. So that has to be matched with that. Then the training of trainers, we don't have adequate and qualified trainers to train these candidates. Then mobilization is also a big issue. We are unable to mobilize good candidates or a good number of candidates who can just come, and then we train them, and then they become a good employees to companies and serve those companies, or create their own livelihoods through entrepreneurship or something. So the mobilization needs to be very precise and very effective. Yeah. So next area is systematic issues, wherein the institutions, like the assessment happens, then we certify, agencies certify these candidates, payments are delayed, these training partners are being paid from the government. So if that gets delayed, so automatically they are unable to deliver the entire service to the candidates. Even they are unable to hold back the faculties or the trainers who are there to train. So this is the very important or the critical factor of the quality which is being affected. Then coordination monitoring also lacks a proper mechanism, wherein if these training partners are not monitored, so nobody knows like what is happening, or either whether or not the candidates are properly trained, whether or not the classes are going on, whether or not the training partners have adequate facilities to train the fellows, to train these candidates. Yeah. So and third category is the outcome-based issues. So there is a huge gap between the public perception and the claimed outcomes, and poor placement records. And along with this, we have also found that most of the candidates don't join because of they are being offered very low wages. So suppose if the market average is 10 to 12,000, or he's expecting 15,000, so the companies offer 5,000 or 6,000. So it becomes very difficult for a person to like leave his house, go to some urban city and work for that much amount of money. So that way also this placement is not good. Yeah, so these are the basic challenges we have identified as of now. Yeah, next slide please, sir. Yeah, so these are the like basic solutions which we think if we act according to these solutions, and we have tried in many districts also, and we have found like we have been able to bring out some positive results out by changing the systems, just improving those challenges, working on those challenges, we have found out that these solutions might bring good results. So first one is mapping and prioritizing aspirational and required job roles. Then decentralized presence of SSC, that is the sector skill councils. So at block level, so if we are present at block level, so it helps in mobilizing the candidates as well as preventing delay in certification process, because then you are very reachable to the accessible to the candidates, right? Then developing more industry relevant courses in consultation with the industries, as rightly flagged by Mr. Acharya, that they are working on new technologies and all. So more such technologies are like implemented on the ground. Then linking with TPs, with local contractors. So one side the training partner is there where these candidates learn, and other are like people like contractor. I think many of the contractors have joined this webinar also. So here this link between the TP and the contractor is very important, so that these candidates can get some internship opportunities and learn on-hand, gain on-hand experience while working with these contractors. These contractors, on the other hand, they get a good support from these interns, and further they also create some job opportunities for these candidates. And last one is capacity building of the TPs and improving their infrastructure. So that's that will be a high fruit to be plucked, but still, if we move through these steps, I think we can improve the situation to a great extent. Yeah, next. Yeah, so I feel like the Sector Skill Council and the fellows. So what action points we both can have, and we can join hands and work together. So I think we can achieve the objectives to a large extent. The Sector Skill Council will be able to create more skilled people, skilled workforce on the ground. And on the other hand, fellows will learn like how these projects, how these schemes are being implemented, and they also will help in strengthening the overall skilling ecosystem and the economy of the district. So action points at Sector Skill Council can be like coordination with the MGN fellows, which I think Paint and Coating Council is very active, proactively doing it, and other councils also we would look forward to, like if they can also join hands. So then regular updates on key development and initiatives, enhance direct industry engagement with the fellows and at the district level. So suppose a district skill committee meeting is going on or is being scheduled, so we can invite district industry people to the district to attend that meeting, present their initiatives, like how they are going to support these initiatives or how can they help, because all the stakeholders are present in that meetings, right? So that's a very good platform to engage, and also equip with the latest technologies. So for the MGN fellows, Mahatma Gandhi fellows, what they can do is like identify potential training partners, like training partners who are interested, who are willing, who have the potential to grow, and who are focused on real development rather than just their personal development. Mobilizing and counseling of candidates is very important. I think MGN fellows can play a very good vital role in this mobilizing and counseling the candidates, and that will help them also grow they will also develop their personalities. If they work with the community, help them understand and motivate them to take up such job roles. And because in early age, what we feel is like everybody has gone through that age. So at that time, we take things very lightly. We are not serious that much कि क्या होगा, आराम से चल रहा है ना, मिल रहा है ना, घूम रहे हैं, फिर रहे हैं. But somewhere down the line, this employment and livelihood is very important. So if you are skilled, then only you will be able to survive and sustain your life. Otherwise, बेरोजगार का number बढ़ते रहेगा, right? Then steering the DSC. So whatever this sector skill councils are trying to implement on the ground, or those their projects. So those projects, this our fellows can steer them in through the DSC and make them and prioritize them in the as the actions for the DSC, and accordingly other associated industries people or associated department people can be clubbed in and further discover employment opportunities, because our fellows are like quite remarkable in using IT technologies and internet and everything. So they can create a pool of like job opportunities across the country or also abroad, where these skilled candidates can be provided opportunity and they can get employment in those things. So this way we both can join hands and improve the situation on the ground. Yeah. So that was it from my side. Yeah.
That was very insightful, Paritosh sir. Before I open the discussion for Q&A, it will be great if Jagdish sir can share his views.
Yeah.
Basis whatever has been discussed till now.
Paritosh Patel, I am very of the view that we should work together and implement the suggestions you have made to the extent we can, because I think you have very clearly articulated the problems. The entire skilling initiative will be a waste if we don't maintain quality and standards at the skilling level. The points you have mentioned about TPs being more specific trade oriented, the assessment and the training time that is given, and also various other points which you mentioned in terms of connecting them to the people or to the industry and preparing industry relevant courses, they are all relevant, sir. And what we want to do is we don't want to waste this opportunity which you have given with the MGF people to ensure that this is done at the lowest, at all levels, at the deep, at the when I say lowest, I meant at the most concrete level of even districts and gram panchayats. We will take it as a pilot in 1 or 2 cases and see how it is benefiting. And we'll take pilots in areas where we can easily see clusters of certain types of painters, because traditionally there are some clusters, like Gorakhpur is known for decorative painters, so on and so forth. Even Dharwad, there are some painters who go for international posting. So we will understand this better, Pathak Saab, and I thank you very much for giving very pointed suggestions and for identifying the problems which are very clearly the big bottleneck. So thank you very much. I am committed, PCSC is committed to implementing some of your suggestions. I really appreciate your...
We'll be grateful, sir. We'll be grateful to, in fact, this will be a very good opportunity for us and the fellows at large to get connected with you and get on-hand experience, because academic, this thing, knowledge is different, and on the ground, the practical knowledge is different. When you do it, so that remains for long. And when you read or somebody teaches you, so that remains for short duration. Yeah.
Absolutely, sir. There are some challenges in implementing some of the things. But sir, the most important question is, if we don't overcome this challenge, then we will not have done any positive, needle wouldn't have changed very much. So we have to work on these challenges, and I am committed to working together with the team, and with your guidance and your suggestions, we'll move forward.
Sure, sir. We are always there, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have a few, let's say 3 anonymous questions. So I would just like to make it open to discussion. With many partners involved, how we can speed up the process to bring beneficiary and industry closer?
What we need to do is, we must treat partners as which we are doing, as our partners, extensions of our council, which means we must ensure that partners also are, enabled through proper capability building in the training program that we give. So we must train the trainers well. Next, more important, we must connect the partners to also the local industry who represent our sector. I think we have a role to play here, and I'm sure the training partners will also like to do it, because at the end of the day, everybody is interested in doing an excellent or a good job. Nobody gets satisfaction by not doing it properly. So therefore, I think we have a role to play in ensuring that we get the right partners and train them and enable them. That's what I would like to say. Pathak sir, do you have any views on this?
No, I agree with you, sir.
Yeah.
I agree to you. Yeah. So, and one additional this thing was there, like Government of India is also looking ahead, where we are expecting 5 trillion economy. So, like this needs all the industries to grow, right? And right now we have some few 5-6 metropolitan cities, then another say a dozen of urban metro cities and sort of, right? But nowadays this villages, this rural areas are also growing like anything. This road network is growing like anything. You are getting bullet trains, you are getting everything. So everywhere, I think this paint and coating is required at any point. You take it a mobile, it's also some kind of paint is there. You take an aeroplane, it's also a painted only, right? So this is the thing which is the final touch on everything. The paint is there on the last thing. Yeah. So I think this has a great potential, right? And when we talk about, we just take example of a Gram Panchayat. So in a Gram Panchayat, you have a school, you have a Gram Panchayat Bhavan, you have a Anganwadi center, and 1 or 2 more institutions, government institutions, right? So if we tie up at the block level, and anyhow yearly these places are being painted, these places are being coated. So this, see the demand for this such a kind of people is there, right? So I think if we slowly strengthen our systems, so I think, yeah, it will be a great impact on the overall employment, as well as we'll have a great large pool of very skilled people at all levels. I'm not talking about only this construction work. Even if you take villages now, they are started. Go to any village, you will find at least 5-6 people with car. Earlier, cycle भी नहीं होता था. अभी आप गांव जाएंगे 5-6 car भी मिल जाएगा. Then now these cars are being also coated. You need to have service centers wherein these cars can be painted and so spray painting का भी है, coating का भी है. Like across all the sectors, job roles you told, it does job roles are different in painting itself. So at each level, demand is there. Just we need to identify those things and match with the supplies, or supply को strengthen करना है. That's it.
Yes.
So इस formula पे if we go together, so I think, and fortunately we have the second batch of our fellows. So we are covering each and every district of this country. So ये 2 साल तक till the year I think 23 and they are here with us. So this 2 years is good enough time wherein we can start working and bring very promising results on the ground.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So the next question is, will the academic courses that the council is trying to align, will it give a head start to industry exposure or any form of entrepreneurship?
Yeah. The academic courses that we are looking at will actually enable people who are in the engineering, architectural, I'm talking about the higher level, for them to become more equipped when they deal with situations relating to paint. Today, what is happening is an average civil engineer, mechanical engineer, architect doesn't know much about paint. I mean, they do learn, but the intricacies of what specification to give on what surfaces will happen. At the school level, it will create an interest in understanding a little bit of paint. In many countries, people paint by themselves. That is, do it yourself. They do it themselves. Now, we have not reached that situation. Because there are painters who are readily able to do it at a lower cost. But paint as a hobby can be, promoted. And when paint becomes happy, many people like to be doing the painting. So therefore, creating interest in paints at school level, at the college level is again something that we are doing. How it gets connected to the industry is because at the end of the day, any improvement in advancing the skill of painting helps the industry sooner or later. I hope I've answered that question.
So next question is, as a painting contractor, how can I be part of skill ecosystem?
The painting contractor, whoever is the painting contractor, they should first straight away contact us, contact Jigisha, and we will share with them the curriculum. We have some online modules which we can share with them, and we can actually assess and certify them as decorative supervisors first. Once they get that certification, they are also in a position to assess and train others. Our job is to equip you with the necessary training tools. Please don't hesitate, call us.
Okay, so thank you. We have more questions coming up from Shubham Singh. TPs need to invest huge amount. And also they should prioritize on returns rather than focusing on quality training. So do we think that government agencies or SSDMs in particular providing the required infrastructure on lease basis can be the way forward?
This is it cannot be easily answered. I agree that training centers require investments. But the government is very keen on stressing the importance of Atmanirbharta. They are saying don't depend on funds for a lot of these things. Try and have a payment module, a fee-based module which will pay for your expenses. But having said that, if there is any area which requires good training and you need investment, please come to us with a proposal. We'll check with CSR funding whether it is available, and then we'll try to see how investment can be made. So it has to be need-based, but overall the emphasis will be you must invest so that you can also pay back for the the investment. But this is a subject I can separately discuss with whoever is interested.
Okay, so thank you. Candidates with short-term skilling experience are rarely preferred by industries. So how can these candidates cope up with this? Question from Urvashi.
Candidates with short-term are not preferred, is she saying? What is the question?
Yeah, candidates with short-term skilling experience are rarely preferred by industries. So how candidates can really cope up with this situation?
Yeah. I think what we can suggest is we will ensure that the people who are trained in short-term courses go through the apprentice channel, and the industries will have no choice but to prefer them because they will have also got trained on the job. I wouldn't say that STT short-term training program are not preferred by the industry. What happens is in short-term training program, because it is about 240 hours, people don't stay complete for the complete program. If they stay for the complete program, then we have to also look for jobs for them. So there is a responsibility. It's not that they are not preferred. Now the job of connecting trained people with industries lies with us. We will work towards getting some placement opportunities for them. But we will ensure, to answer your question, we will ensure that people with short-term training are going to be preferred by the industry. We'll see how to work that out.
We have a question from Mr. Mahesh Mishra. How to ensure the quality of trainers?
Manisha, there are two important things in the skill thing. One is ensuring that the quality of trainer is substantially improved. And next, the assessment is the soul of the training skill system. So we have to ensure that the assessment is done as per the assessment blueprint. Anybody who has a certificate should be seen to be valuable, perceived to be better, more productive. And that is our role, Manisha, and I agree with you that there's a lot more that needs to be done in the area of ensuring good quality trainers. We are working together with our domain experts to create modules and simulated modules which will help them in help imparting training well and also make the trainers train their people better. So this is now we must use technology to do this, but some amount of physical training is also required. But a lot of it can be done through proper online module. This is something we are working on, Mr. Mishra, and I quite appreciate the question.
So from Srinidhi, with the onset of climate change, there is more and more requirement of environmental sensitive materials in the coming years. So can SSC engage with more eco-friendly coatings like natural wood polishes, something that is non-toxic, artisan lime plastering and such kind of things?
Yeah, I think, in our curriculum, there is always a module on safety and environment practices, but you're talking about products. Now, products, the major companies, many companies are aware of the environmentally friendly products, and they are manufacturing. And it is not that it is not happening. In fact, lead is not being used at all now anymore. We are also having zero or not zero to a minimum, very low, low VOC, volatile organic compound products. So the paint companies are themselves shifting towards more environmentally friendly products. Our job is to ensure that they are applied properly and safely.
Thank you, sir. What is our plan for improving or increasing certification of painters in West Bengal and Northeast location?
We are already focusing on East and Northeast now. Our regional manager for East and Northeast has visited all the 7 states there, and we are working towards building up a team of good TOT for North and East and Northeast. In West Bengal, particularly in Calcutta, our training partner Berger Paint has got very good trainers, and we are going to use them, their skills and their expertise to train other trainers.
Right, so thank you. And I think probably the last question of the day.
I wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Something.
Okay.
Shika Mishra, she's there on the call. I think I saw her raise the hands. Shika, you want to say something? And yeah, you want to say anything, Shika? Shika ji, आपको कुछ कहना है?
Hello.
हाँ, बोलिए.
Hi sir, I'm audible.
Yeah, you are audible. Please tell me.
Sir, good evening all of you.
Good evening.
That time I raised my hand to see that I am looking over there or not. Only for that.
Okay, thank you, Shika. In fact, Shika ji, Patak Saab is a very good example of a women entrepreneur in painting, and she's really a model, role model for many painters. Thank you, Shika ji, for coming.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
All fine. Jigisha, that any more questions?
So one last question that was pending. How do we monitor TPs and panel with us?
We have a proper, very structured process of monitoring TPs, and we share that with the TPs, and we are now going to be a little bit strict on TP, monitoring TP performances, because as somebody rightly said, Mr. Mishra rightly said, you have good trainers, you have good training partners, the quality of training improves. So we are, and all our training partners today are really some of our best partners we have.
If there are no further questions, I would like to conclude this webinar with compliments to the great audience for being such a great listener, and also to make it an interactive session. Great discussions are always outcome of great insight from our panelists. So I would like to thank Paritosh sir and Jagdish sir for their valuable time and efforts for this webinar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patak. Personal thanks to, yes, Patak sir, you want to say?
Just my closing comments. So actually, our phase 1 fellows are now graduating on I think first week of March. Okay, so we had 69 fellows across 69 districts across 6 states. Okay, so one of them was Meghalaya, as you mentioned, for East. So if like the council is thinking of expanding your team, or you need some experts or consultants, so I think this bunch of fellows will be like very supportive, and so I would just share for your information. And if your member partners, industries also want, so these guys can like strengthen your team, and yeah. So yeah. Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you, Jigisha. And thank you, Shubhana.
I am just sharing the link for feedback. I request everyone to kindly click and send us the feedback. So in a minute or so, we can just end the webinar. So they get a chance to click on the link.
Thank you very much.
So thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. Thank you.